Welcome to Wisdom Audiobooks. Have you ever felt like no one truly cares about your struggles or your dreams? What if the key to success lies not in waiting for recognition but in relentless hard work? This audiobook will help you realize that external validation is fleeting and often meaningless. The real power lies within you, your ability to take action, persevere, and build the life you desire. By the end of this journey, you'll see why personal effort outshines seeking others' approval. Introduction. Before we begin, I'd like you to pause and reflect on 3 pivotal questions, ones I've grappled with during my own moments of struggle. 1. Have you ever felt invisible, as if your efforts go unnoticed? 2. Do self-doubt and fear hold you back when challenges arise? 3. Are you prepared to take charge of your life and shape the future you truly desire? If these resonate with you, this audiobook was made for you. It's for dreamers, fighters, and believers, those ready to rise above limitations and unlock their potential, not for validation, but for themselves. Let me tell you something, I've been there. I know what it feels like to pour your heart into something, only to be met with silence or indifference. I've faced moments where I questioned my worth and wondered if all my hard work was worth it. But here's the truth, life doesn't owe us anything. No one is obligated to care about our dreams or struggles. And while that may sound harsh, it's also incredibly liberating. When you stop relying on others for validation, you reclaim your power. You become unstoppable. You are not alone in this journey. Millions of people around the world are fighting their own battles, just like you. They are proving every day that resilience, discipline, and consistent effort can overcome even the toughest obstacles. The audiobook, Nobody Cares, Get Up and Work Harder, is written and published by Wisdom Audiobooks. It is crafted to inspire, educate, and empower you to take control of your destiny. What makes this audiobook different? It's not just another motivational speech. It's a roadmap, a guide to help you navigate the complexities of life with clarity and purpose. Here's what you'll gain. 1. A shift in mindset. You'll learn to let go of the need for external validation and focus on what truly matters, your actions. 2. Practical strategies. I'll share actionable steps to build resilience, discipline, and consistency in your daily life. 3. Inspiration through stories. Real-life examples and stories of individuals who turned adversity into triumph will motivate you to keep pushing forward. Each chapter is packed with insights that will transform the way you think and act. These lessons are not just theories. They are tools you can apply immediately to improve your life. Your wisdom journey starts here. Let's begin. Chapter 1. The Reality of Life. Nobody Cares. In this chapter, we're going to explore a truth that might feel uncomfortable at first, but is absolutely liberating once you embrace it. Life has a way of teaching us hard lessons, doesn't it? One of those lessons is this: no one is as invested in your success or happiness as you are. It's not because people are cruel or indifferent, it's simply human nature. Everyone is busy dealing with their own struggles, fears, and dreams. Understanding this reality is the first step toward taking full responsibility for your life. In the next few minutes, we'll uncover why seeking validation from others is a trap, how to shift your focus inward, and why self-reliance is the ultimate superpower. Let's dive in. 1. The harsh truth about attention. Let's start with a simple yet profound observation. People care about themselves more than they care about you. Now, before you think I'm being cynical, let me clarify, this isn't about selfishness. It's about survival. Human beings are wired to prioritize their own needs, goals, and emotions. Think about it. How often do you scroll through social media, focusing on posts that resonate with your own life? Or how many times have you been so caught up in your own problems that you barely notice someone else's? Here's a quote by Steve Jobs that perfectly captures this idea. Your time is limited, don't waste it living someone else's life. What Jobs meant was this: you can't rely on others to define your worth or guide your path. Their attention is fleeting, and their opinions are often shaped by their own biases. Take a moment to reflect. How much time have you spent worrying about what others think of you? Have you ever delayed pursuing a dream because you were afraid of judgment? If so, you're not alone. But here's the good news: You don't need their approval to succeed. Let me give you an example. Imagine you're an artist who just finished your first painting. You post it online, hoping for likes and comments. Days pass, and crickets. Does that mean your work has no value? Absolutely not. The value of your art lies in the effort, creativity, and passion you poured into it, not in the number of likes it receives. This brings us to a critical lesson: external validation is unreliable. It's like building your house on sand. One day, the tide comes in, and everything collapses. Instead, build your foundation on something solid, your own belief in yourself. 2. Why seeking validation is a trap. Now, let's talk about why seeking validation is such a dangerous habit. When you constantly look to others for approval, you give away your power. You allow their opinions to dictate your self-worth, your decisions, and even your happiness. I want to share a powerful quote by Eleanor Roosevelt. "No one can make you feel inferior without your consent." This quote reminds us that our sense of worth comes from within. If you're waiting for someone else to tell you that you're good enough, smart enough, or talented enough, you'll be waiting forever. Let me illustrate this with a story. Meet Sarah, a young professional who worked tirelessly to climb the corporate ladder. She stayed late at the office, took on extra projects, and always went above and beyond. Yet, her efforts seemed to go unnoticed. Her manager rarely acknowledged her contributions, and her colleagues didn't seem to appreciate her hard work. For years, Sarah felt frustrated and unfulfilled. She kept thinking, if only they recognized my efforts, I'd finally feel satisfied. But then, one day, she had an epiphany. She realized that her happiness shouldn't depend on someone else's recognition. She started focusing on what truly mattered: her growth, her impact, and her personal fulfillment. Guess what happened? Once Sarah stopped seeking validation, she became unstoppable. She took risks, pursued opportunities she had previously avoided, and eventually landed her dream job. Sarah's story teaches us an important lesson. When you stop relying on others for approval, you free yourself to pursue greatness on your own terms. 3. The power of self-reliance. So, if external validation is unreliable, what's the alternative? The answer is self-reliance, the ability to trust yourself, take action, and create your own success. Self-reliance isn't just a concept, it's a mindset. It's about understanding that you are the architect of your life. No one else can build it for you. One of my favorite quotes on this topic comes from Ralph Waldo Emerson. "To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment." Emerson understood that true success comes from staying true to yourself, regardless of external pressures. When you embrace self-reliance, you become unstoppable. Let me share another real-life example. Meet Elon Musk, one of the most innovative entrepreneurs of our time. Early in his career, Musk faced countless rejections and failures. Critics doubted his vision, investors pulled out, and skeptics called his ideas unrealistic. But Musk didn't let their opinions stop him. He trusted his instincts, relied on his expertise, and kept pushing forward. Today, he's revolutionized industries like space exploration, electric vehicles, and renewable energy. Musk's story demonstrates the power of self-reliance. He didn't wait for others to believe in him, he believed in himself. And that made all the difference. 4. Practical steps to cultivate self-reliance. Now that we've explored the importance of self-reliance, let's talk about how you can cultivate it in your own life. Here are 3 practical steps. 1. Stop comparing yourself to others. Comparison is the thief of joy. When you measure your progress against someone else's, you set yourself up for disappointment. Instead, focus on your own journey. Celebrate your wins, learn from your losses, and keep moving forward. 2. Set personal standards. Define what success means to you, not what society, your family, or your peers expect. Create standards that align with your values and aspirations. For example, instead of aiming for a certain salary, aim to make a meaningful impact in your field. 3. Take ownership of your life. Every decision you make shapes your future. Whether it's choosing a career path, starting a business, or pursuing a passion project, take full responsibility for the outcomes. Remember, you are the captain of your ship. 5. The myth of external validation. Let's delve deeper into why external validation is not just unreliable but also a myth that holds you back from achieving your true potential. Many people fall into the trap of believing that once they receive enough praise, recognition, or approval, they'll finally feel fulfilled. But here's the truth: external validation is like chasing a mirage in the desert. It always seems within reach, but it never truly satisfies. Think about this quote by Maya Angelou. "You alone are enough. You have nothing to prove to anybody." Angelou reminds us that our worth isn't determined by what others think of us. It's an inherent quality that exists within us, regardless of external circumstances. When you internalize this truth, you free yourself from the need to seek constant approval. Here's a practical example. Imagine you're preparing for a big presentation at work. You spend hours rehearsing, refining your slides, and perfecting your delivery. On the day of the presentation, you deliver it flawlessly, but your boss barely acknowledges your effort. Does that mean your hard work was wasted? Of course not. The value of your preparation lies in the skills you developed, the confidence you gained, and the impact you made, even if it wasn't immediately recognized. This brings us to another critical point. Success isn't defined by applause, it's defined by growth. When you stop relying on external validation, you start measuring success by the progress you make, the lessons you learn, and the person you become. 6. The cost of waiting for recognition. Now, let's talk about the cost of waiting for recognition. Every moment you spend hoping someone will notice your efforts is a moment you could be using to take action. Time is your most valuable resource, and when you waste it waiting for others to validate you, you're essentially stalling your own progress. I want to share a powerful story about a man named Thomas Edison. As you may know, Edison is credited with inventing the light bulb. But what many people don't realize is that he failed thousands of times before he succeeded. Critics ridiculed him, calling his ideas impractical and doomed to fail. Yet, Edison didn't let their opinions deter him. He famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Edison's perseverance teaches us an invaluable lesson. Don't wait for others to believe in you. Believe in yourself, and keep moving forward. Think about how much time you've spent waiting for someone to give you permission to pursue your dreams. Maybe it's a parent who told you to be realistic, a teacher who said you weren't talented enough, or a friend who dismissed your ideas. Whatever the case, remember this: their doubts don't define you. Only your actions do. 7. Building resilience through self-reliance. One of the most beautiful aspects of self-reliance is that it builds resilience. When you stop depending on others for validation, you develop the strength to face challenges head-on. You learn to trust your ability to overcome obstacles, no matter how daunting they may seem. Here's a quote by Helen Keller that perfectly encapsulates this idea. "Although the world is full of suffering, it is also full of the overcoming of it." Keller understood that life is filled with struggles, but those struggles can be transformed into opportunities for growth. When you embrace self-reliance, you shift your perspective. Instead of seeing challenges as roadblocks, you see them as stepping stones toward success. Let me share a story that illustrates this point. Meet Malala Yousafzai, the youngest ever Nobel laureate. At just 15 years old, Malala survived an assassination attempt by the Taliban for advocating girls' education. Instead of letting fear silence her, she became even more determined to fight for her cause. Today, she's a global symbol of courage and resilience. Malala's story teaches us that resilience isn't about avoiding pain, it's about facing it with unwavering determination. When you rely on yourself, you discover an inner strength you never knew you had. 8. How to shift your focus inward. So, how do you shift your focus inward and cultivate self-reliance? Here are 3 actionable strategies. 1. Practice self-awareness. Take time to reflect on your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. Journaling is a great way to do this. Write down your goals, fears, and aspirations. By understanding yourself better, you'll gain clarity about what truly matters to you. 2. Celebrate small wins. Instead of waiting for a grand achievement to feel proud of yourself, celebrate the small victories along the way. Did you wake up early to work on a project? Celebrate it. Did you push through a tough workout? Celebrate it. These small wins add up and reinforce your belief in your abilities. 3. Surround yourself with supportive people. While self-reliance is about trusting yourself, having a supportive network can make a huge difference. Surround yourself with people who encourage your growth, challenge your limits, and believe in your potential. Closing thoughts for Chapter 1. As we wrap up Chapter 1, I want to leave you with one final thought. The sooner you accept that nobody cares about your success as much as you do, the sooner you'll take control of your life. This realization isn't meant to discourage you, it's meant to empower you. Remember this quote by Vince Lombardi. The measure of who we are is what we do with what we have. Your circumstances don't define you, your actions do. When you embrace self-reliance, you unlock your true potential. You become the master of your destiny. Chapter 2. The Power of Getting Up, Resilience. In this chapter, we're going to explore one of the most essential qualities for success, resilience. Life is unpredictable, isn't it? No matter how carefully you plan or how hard you work, setbacks are inevitable. But here's the good news, failure is not the end, it's just the beginning. Every time you get knocked down, you have a choice, to stay down or to get back up. And it's that choice, to rise again, that defines your journey. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from adversity, to keep moving forward despite challenges, and to turn obstacles into opportunities. It's not something you're born with, it's a skill you can develop. In the next few minutes, we'll uncover why failure is a stepping stone to success, how to build emotional resilience, and how to draw inspiration from real-life stories of people who refuse to give up. 1. Understanding failure as a stepping stone. Let's start by redefining failure. Society often portrays failure as something shameful, something to avoid at all costs. But what if I told you that failure is actually your greatest teacher? Here's a powerful quote by Michael Jordan, one of the greatest athletes of all time. I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I've failed over and over and over again in my life. And that is why I succeed. Jordan's words remind us that failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of the process. Every mistake, every setback, every disappointment teaches you something valuable. The key is to learn from it and keep moving forward. Think about this. How many times have you avoided taking a risk because you were afraid of failing? Maybe you didn't apply for a job because you thought you weren't qualified enough. Or maybe you didn't start a business because you feared it wouldn't work out. But here's the truth. The only way to guarantee failure is to do nothing. As long as you're willing to try, you're already ahead of those who never take the first step. Let me share an example. Meet J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series. Before she became one of the most successful writers in history, Rowling faced countless rejections. Her manuscript was turned down by 12 publishers before Bloomsbury finally agreed to publish it. Rowling's story teaches us that failure is not final unless you let it be. She didn't give up after the first rejection, or the 12th. She kept believing in her story, and eventually, the world believed in it too. So, the next time you face failure, don't see it as the end. See it as a lesson, a stepping stone on your path to success. 2. Why resilience is essential for success. Now, let's talk about why resilience is so crucial. Life is full of ups and downs, and without resilience, it's easy to get discouraged when things don't go as planned. Resilience gives you the strength to persevere, even when the odds are against you. Here's a quote by Nelson Mandela that beautifully captures the essence of resilience. The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. Mandela spent 27 years in prison for fighting against apartheid in South Africa. During that time, he could have given up, but he didn't. Instead, he used his time in prison to reflect, grow, and prepare for the day he would be free. When he was released, He went on to become the first black president of South Africa and a global symbol of peace and reconciliation. Mandela's story teaches us that resilience isn't just about enduring hardship, it's about emerging stronger from it. It's about finding meaning in your struggles and using them to fuel your growth. Think about your own life. Have you ever faced a challenge that felt insurmountable? Maybe it was a personal loss, a professional setback, or a health issue. Whatever it was, remember this: you survived it. And every time you overcome an obstacle, you become more resilient. 3. Building emotional resilience. Now that we understand the importance of resilience, let's talk about how to build it. Emotional resilience is the ability to manage stress, regulate your emotions, and maintain a positive outlook, even in difficult situations. Here are 3 strategies to help you develop emotional resilience. 1. Practice gratitude. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's going wrong to what's going right. Take a few minutes each day to write down 3 things you're grateful for. It could be something as simple as a sunny day, a kind word from a friend, or a small accomplishment. Over time, this practice will help you cultivate a more positive mindset. 2. Develop a growth mindset. A growth mindset is the belief that your abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort and learning. Instead of seeing challenges as threats, see them as opportunities to grow. For example, if you fail at something, ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? 3. Build a strong support system. Surround yourself with people who uplift and inspire you. Having a strong support system can make a huge difference during tough times. Whether it's a friend, family member, or mentor, having someone to lean on can help you stay grounded and motivated. 4. Stories of resilience that inspire. Let's take a moment to draw inspiration from real-life stories of resilience. These individuals faced incredible challenges but refused to give up. Their stories remind us that no matter how difficult life gets, there's always hope. Story 1. Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey is one of the most influential media personalities in the world, but her journey wasn't easy. Born into poverty in rural Mississippi, Oprah faced numerous hardships as a child, including abuse and discrimination. Despite these challenges, she worked tirelessly to build a better life for herself. At one point early in her career, Oprah was fired from her job as a television anchor because her boss said she wasn't fit for TV. Instead of letting that discourage her, she took it as a challenge to prove him wrong. Today, she's a billionaire, a philanthropist, and a role model for millions of people around the world. Oprah's story teaches us that resilience is about refusing to let setbacks define you. It's about believing in yourself, even when others don't. Story 2. Colonel Harlan Sanders. You may know him as the founder of KFC, but Colonel Sanders' road to success was anything but smooth. At the age of 65, after being forced to retire from his job, Sanders decided to pursue his dream of sharing his fried chicken recipe with the world. He traveled across the United States, pitching his idea to restaurant owners. He was rejected over 1,000 times before someone finally agreed to try his recipe. Today, KFC is one of the largest fast food chains in the world, serving millions of customers every day. Sanders' story reminds us that persistence pays off. No matter how many times you're told no, keep knocking on doors until you find a yes. 5. The role of mindset in resilience. Your mindset plays a critical role in building resilience. If you approach challenges with a negative mindset, you'll feel overwhelmed and defeated. But if you approach them with a positive mindset, you'll see them as opportunities to grow. Here's a quote by Henry Ford that perfectly illustrates this idea. Whether you think you can, or you think you can't, you're right. Ford understood that your beliefs shape your reality. If you believe you can overcome a challenge, you'll find a way to do it. If you believe you can't, you'll give up before you even start. So, how do you cultivate a positive mindset? Start by reframing your thoughts. Instead of saying, "This is impossible," say, "This is challenging, but I can figure it out." Focus on solutions rather than problems. Celebrate progress, no matter how small. 6. Overcoming self-doubt and fear. One of the biggest barriers to resilience is self-doubt. When you face failure or adversity, it's easy to start questioning your abilities. You might think, maybe I'm not good enough. Or, what if I fail again? But here's the truth. Self-doubt is just a story you tell yourself, and you have the power to rewrite it. Here's a quote by Eleanor Roosevelt that speaks to this idea. You gain strength, courage, and confidence by every experience in which you really stop to look fear in the face. Roosevelt reminds us that fear is natural, but it doesn't have to control you. Every time you face your fears, you grow stronger and more confident. Let me share a practical example. Imagine you're preparing for a big presentation at work. You're nervous because you've never spoken in front of such a large audience before. Your mind starts racing with thoughts like, what if I mess up? Or, what if they don't like my ideas? Instead of letting these thoughts paralyze you, take a step back and ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen? Maybe you'll stumble over your words, or maybe someone will ask a tough question. But guess what? None of those outcomes are catastrophic. And even if they happen, you'll survive, and you'll learn from the experience. The key is to focus on preparation rather than perfection. Practice your presentation until you feel confident. Visualize yourself succeeding. And most importantly, remind yourself that you're capable of handling whatever comes your way. 7. Turning setbacks into comebacks. Now, let's talk about how to turn setbacks into comebacks. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to grow stronger and wiser. The key is to approach setbacks with curiosity rather than frustration. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? Here's a quote by Winston Churchill that perfectly captures this mindset. Success is not final, failure is not fatal, it is the courage to continue that counts. Churchill understood that success isn't about avoiding failure, it's about having the courage to keep going, no matter what. Let me share another inspiring story. Meet Thomas Edison, the inventor of the light bulb. As we discussed earlier, Edison failed thousands of times before he succeeded. But instead of seeing those failures as defeats, he viewed them as experiments. Each failed attempt brought him one step closer to his goal. Edison's approach teaches us an important lesson: failure is just data. It provides valuable information that you can use to improve and refine your efforts. So, the next time you face a setback, don't dwell on it, learn from it. 8. Staying motivated during tough times. Staying motivated during tough times can be challenging, but it's not impossible. Here are 3 strategies to help you stay focused and energized, even when the going gets tough. 1. Set clear goals. Having a clear sense of purpose gives you something to strive for. Break your larger goals into smaller, manageable tasks, and celebrate each milestone along the way. This will help you maintain momentum and stay motivated. 2. Visualize success. Spend a few minutes each day visualizing yourself achieving your goals. Imagine how it will feel to overcome your challenges and reach your destination. Visualization not only boosts your confidence, but also reinforces your commitment to your goals. 3. Practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself when things don't go as planned. Instead of beating yourself up for mistakes, acknowledge them, learn from them, and move on. Remember, resilience isn't about being perfect, it's about being persistent. 9. The science of resilience. Let's take a moment to explore the science behind resilience. Research shows that resilient individuals share certain traits and habits that help them thrive in the face of adversity. These include optimism. Resilient people tend to have a positive outlook, even in difficult situations. They believe that things will get better and that they have the power to influence their circumstances. Problem-solving skills. Instead of dwelling on problems, resilient individuals focus on finding solutions. They break challenges into smaller parts and tackle them one step at a time. Emotional regulation. Resilient people are skilled at managing their emotions. They don't let fear, anger, or frustration dictate their actions. Instead, they stay calm and composed, even under pressure. Here's a quote by Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and psychiatrist, that highlights the importance of emotional regulation. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. Frankl's words remind us that while we can't always control what happens to us, we can control how we respond. This ability to choose our response is the foundation of resilience. Closing thoughts for Chapter 2. As we wrap up Chapter 2, I want to leave you with one final thought. Resilience is not about avoiding failure, it's about embracing it. Every time you get knocked down, you have a choice, to stay down or to get back up. And it's that choice, to rise again, that defines your journey. Remember this quote by Maya Angelou. You may encounter many defeats, but you must not be defeated. Angelou understood that life is full of challenges, but it's also full of opportunities to grow, learn, and become stronger. When you embrace resilience, you unlock your true potential. You become unstoppable. In the next chapter, we'll explore the art of working harder, discipline, and consistency. We'll dive into the importance of building daily habits, staying motivated, and maintaining discipline in the pursuit of your goals. Chapter 3: The Art of Working Harder, Discipline, and Consistency. In this chapter, we're going to explore one of the most misunderstood aspects of success: hard work. Many people believe that success is about talent or luck, but the truth is far simpler, and far more demanding. Success is built on discipline and consistency. It's not about working harder for a day, a week, or even a month. It's about showing up every single day, doing the work, and staying committed to your goals, no matter what. In the next few minutes, we'll uncover why overnight success is a myth, how to build daily habits that lead to long-term success, and how to stay motivated when the journey feels tough. 1. The myth of overnight success. Let's start by debunking one of the biggest myths in the world of success: the idea of overnight success. You've probably heard stories about people who suddenly became famous or wealthy seemingly out of nowhere. But here's the truth: there's no such thing as overnight success. Behind every overnight success is years, sometimes decades, of hard work, sacrifice, and persistence. These individuals didn't just wake up one day and achieve greatness. They spent countless hours honing their craft, learning from their mistakes, and pushing through challenges. Here's a quote by Will Smith that perfectly captures this idea. "The only thing that I see that is distinctly different about me is, I'm not afraid to die on a treadmill. I will not be outworked, period." Smith's words remind us that success isn't about shortcuts. It's about outworking everyone else. It's about putting in the effort, even when no one is watching, and staying committed to your goals, even when the results aren't immediate. Let me share an example. Meet Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx. Before she became a billionaire entrepreneur, Blakely spent years working tirelessly to bring her vision to life. She started with just $5,000 in savings and faced countless rejections from manufacturers and retailers. But instead of giving up, she kept pushing forward. She spent months perfecting her product, pitching her idea, and building relationships. Today, Spanx is a household name, and Blakely is one of the most successful female entrepreneurs in the world. Blakely's story teaches us that success doesn't happen overnight. It's the result of consistent effort over time. 2. Why discipline is more important than motivation. Now, let's talk about why discipline is more important than motivation. Motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes depending on your mood, energy levels, or circumstances. Discipline, on the other hand, is reliable. It's the ability to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. Here's a quote by Jim Rohn that beautifully illustrates this point. "We must all suffer from one of two pains, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. The difference is discipline weighs ounces while regret weighs tons." Rohn understood that discipline is the key to avoiding regret. When you prioritize discipline over motivation, you take control of your life. You stop waiting for inspiration to strike and start taking action, regardless of how you feel. Think about your own life. How many times have you waited for the perfect moment to start working on your goals? Maybe you told yourself, "I'll start tomorrow," or "I'll wait until I feel more motivated." But here's the truth: the perfect moment doesn't exist. If you wait for motivation to show up, you'll spend your entire life waiting. Instead, focus on building discipline. Create routines and systems that make it easier to stay consistent, even when motivation is low. 3. Building daily habits for long-term success. Now that we understand the importance of discipline, let's talk about how to build daily habits that lead to long-term success. Habits are the foundation of discipline. They're the small, consistent actions that compound over time to create extraordinary results. Here are 3 strategies to help you build effective habits. 1. Start small. One of the biggest mistakes people make when trying to build new habits is starting too big. They set ambitious goals like, I'm going to work out for 2 hours every day, or I'm going to read 5 books a week. But when these goals feel overwhelming, they quickly give up. Instead, start small. Focus on creating tiny habits that are easy to maintain. For example, if you want to start exercising, commit to just 5 minutes of movement each day. Once that becomes a habit, you can gradually increase the duration. 2. Use the power of triggers. A trigger is something that reminds you to perform a specific habit. For example, if you want to develop a habit of journaling, you could place your journal on your bedside table so you see it every morning. Or if you want to drink more water, you could keep a water bottle on your desk. Triggers make it easier to stick to your habits because they eliminate the need for decision-making. Instead of having to remember to do something, the trigger prompts you to take action automatically. 3. Track your progress. Tracking your progress is a powerful way to stay motivated and accountable. Whether it's using a habit tracker app, keeping a journal, or simply marking an X on your calendar for each day you complete a habit, tracking helps you see how far you've come. Research shows that people who track their habits are more likely to stick with them. Seeing your streak grow creates a sense of accomplishment and encourages you to keep going. 4. The importance of consistency. Now, let's talk about why consistency is so crucial. Success isn't about doing something once or twice. It's about doing it repeatedly, day after day, until it becomes second nature. Here's a quote by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson that highlights the importance of consistency. Success isn't always about greatness. It's about consistency. Consistent hard work leads to success. Greatness will come. Johnson understands that greatness doesn't happen overnight. It's the result of showing up every day, doing the work, and staying committed to your goals. Let me share an example. Meet Kobe Bryant, one of the greatest basketball players of all time. Bryant was known for his relentless work ethic. He famously woke up at 4 a.m. every day to practice before games, even when he was already considered one of the best players in the league. Bryant's dedication to consistency is what set him apart. He didn't rely on talent alone, he relied on discipline and hard work. And that's why he achieved so much during his career. So, how do you cultivate consistency in your own life? Start by setting realistic goals and breaking them into smaller, manageable tasks. Focus on making incremental progress rather than aiming for perfection. And most importantly, remind yourself that consistency is a marathon, not a sprint. 5. Overcoming procrastination. One of the biggest obstacles to discipline and consistency is procrastination. We've all been there. You know you should be working on something important, but you find yourself scrolling through social media, watching TV, or doing anything but the task at hand. Here's a quote by Napoleon Hill that speaks to this challenge. Procrastination is the bad habit of putting off until the day after tomorrow what should have been done the day before yesterday. Hill understood that procrastination is a thief of time. Every moment you delay taking action is a moment you could be moving closer to your goals. So, how do you overcome procrastination? Here are 3 strategies. 1. Break tasks into smaller steps. Large tasks can feel overwhelming, which makes it easier to procrastinate. Instead of focusing on the entire project, break it into smaller, more manageable steps. For example, if you're writing a book, focus on writing just 1 paragraph at a time. 2. Use the 2-minute rule. The 2-minute rule states that if a task takes less than 2 minutes to complete, you should do it immediately. This simple strategy helps you build momentum and prevents small tasks from piling up. 3. Eliminate distractions. Identify the things that distract you the most, whether it's your phone, social media, or noise, and find ways to minimize them. For example, you could put your phone on airplane mode, use website blockers, or work in a quiet space. 6. The role of accountability in discipline. Now, let's talk about accountability, a powerful tool for staying disciplined and consistent. When you're accountable to someone else, whether it's a mentor, coach, friend, or even yourself, you're more likely to follow through on your commitments. Here's a quote by Bob Proctor that perfectly captures the importance of accountability. Accountability is the glue that ties commitment to results. Proctor understood that accountability bridges the gap between intention and action. When you know someone is counting on you, or when you've made a public commitment, you're far less likely to give up. Let me share a practical example. Imagine you're trying to develop a habit of exercising regularly. You might struggle to stay consistent if you're doing it alone. But what if you joined a fitness class or hired a personal trainer? Suddenly, you're accountable to someone else, which increases your chances of sticking with it. You can also create accountability systems for yourself. For instance, you could use a habit tracker app to monitor your progress, or you could set up weekly check-ins with a friend to discuss your goals. These small steps make a big difference in maintaining discipline. 7. Staying motivated during tough times. Even the most disciplined individuals face moments of doubt and fatigue. Life has a way of testing your resolve, doesn't it? Maybe you're overwhelmed by stress, distracted by personal challenges, or simply feeling burned out. Whatever the reason, staying motivated during tough times requires a shift in perspective. Here's a quote by Zig Ziglar that speaks to this challenge. People often say that motivation doesn't last. Well, either does bathing. That's why we recommend it daily. Ziglar reminds us that motivation isn't a one-time event. It's something you need to cultivate consistently. When you're feeling low on motivation, here are 3 strategies to reignite your drive. 1. Reconnect with your why. Why did you start pursuing your goals in the first place? What inspired you to take action? Revisiting your purpose can help you regain clarity and focus. Write down your reasons for working hard and keep them somewhere visible as a daily reminder. 2. Celebrate small wins. Progress fuels motivation. Take time to acknowledge and celebrate the small victories along the way. Did you complete a task you've been procrastinating on? Celebrate it. Did you stick to your routine for a week straight? Celebrate it. These small wins add up and reinforce your commitment. 3. Surround yourself with positivity. The people you surround yourself with have a profound impact on your mindset. Spend time with individuals who uplift and inspire you. Listen to motivational podcasts, read inspiring books, or watch videos that remind you of your potential. 8. The power of morning routines. One of the most effective ways to build discipline and consistency is by establishing a strong morning routine. How you start your day sets the tone for everything that follows. A well-designed morning routine can help you stay focused, energized, and productive. Here's a quote by Robin Sharma that highlights the importance of mornings. The quality of your life is shaped by the quality of your mornings. Sharma understood that mornings are a sacred time, a chance to prepare yourself mentally, emotionally, and physically for the day ahead. So, how do you create a powerful morning routine? Here are 3 key elements to include. 1. Mindfulness or meditation. Start your day with a few minutes of mindfulness or meditation. This practice helps you clear your mind, reduce stress, and set a positive tone for the day. Even just 5 minutes of deep breathing can make a difference. 2. Movement or exercise. Physical activity boosts your energy levels and improves your mood. Whether it's yoga, stretching, or a quick workout, incorporating movement into your morning routine prepares your body for the challenges ahead. 3. Planning and prioritization. Take a few minutes to review your goals and plan your day. Identify your top priorities and create a roadmap for achieving them. This ensures that you're focusing on what truly matters, rather than getting sidetracked by distractions. 9. Avoiding burnout while working hard. Working hard is essential, but it's equally important to avoid burnout. Pushing yourself too hard without taking breaks can lead to exhaustion, frustration, and even health issues. The key is to find a balance between effort and rest. Here's a quote by Arianna Huffington that speaks to this challenge. "We think, mistakenly, that success is the result of the amount of time we put in at work, instead of the quality of time we put in." Huffington reminds us that productivity isn't about working longer, it's about working smarter. To avoid burnout while staying disciplined, here are 3 strategies. 1. Schedule regular breaks. Taking short breaks throughout the day helps you recharge and maintain focus. Use techniques like the Pomodoro method. Work for 25 minutes, then take a 5-minute break. 2. Prioritize sleep. Sleep is not a luxury, it's a necessity. Lack of sleep impairs your cognitive function, reduces your productivity, and increases your risk of burnout. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep each night. 3. Practice self-care. Self-care isn't selfish, it's essential. Make time for activities that nourish your mind, body, and soul. Whether it's reading, spending time in nature, or connecting with loved ones, self-care helps you stay grounded and resilient. 10. Stories of discipline that inspire. Let's take a moment to draw inspiration from real-life stories of discipline. These individuals achieved extraordinary success not because they were gifted, but because they were relentless in their pursuit of excellence. Story 1. Serena Williams. Serena Williams is widely regarded as one of the greatest tennis players of all time. But her success didn't come easily. From a young age, she trained tirelessly under the guidance of her father, Richard Williams. She practiced for hours every day, often on public courts in Compton, California. Despite facing racism, sexism, and injuries throughout her career, Williams never gave up. Her discipline and determination earned her 23 Grand Slam titles and cemented her legacy as a trailblazer in sports. Williams' story teaches us that discipline is about showing up, even when the odds are against you. It's about pushing through pain, doubt, and adversity to achieve your dreams. Story 2. Stephen King. Stephen King, one of the most prolific authors in history, attributes his success to discipline. He writes every single day, even on holidays. In his memoir on writing, King shares that he aims to write at least 2,000 words per day, a habit he's maintained for decades. King's consistency has resulted in over 60 novels and countless short stories. His dedication to his craft reminds us that discipline is the foundation of creativity and success. 11. The long-term benefits of discipline. Now, let's talk about the long-term benefits of discipline. While it may feel challenging in the short term, discipline pays off exponentially over time. It's like planting a tree. The effort you put in today may not yield immediate results, but years down the line, you'll enjoy the shade and fruit of your labor. Here's a quote by Aristotle that perfectly captures this idea. "We are what we repeatedly do." Excellence, then, is not an act but a habit. Aristotle understood that success isn't a one-time achievement, it's the result of consistent effort over time. When you practice discipline daily, you create a foundation for excellence. Let me share a practical example. Imagine you're learning a new skill, such as playing the piano. At first, it feels frustrating and slow. You make mistakes, struggle to keep up with the tempo, and wonder if you'll ever improve. But if you commit to practicing just 30 minutes a day, something incredible happens. Over weeks, months, and years, your skills grow. What once felt impossible becomes second nature. This principle applies to every area of life. Whether you're building a business, improving your health, or pursuing a passion, discipline transforms small actions into extraordinary outcomes. 12. How to stay committed to your goals. Staying committed to your goals requires more than just discipline. It requires a clear vision and unwavering focus. Here are 3 strategies to help you stay committed, even when the journey feels tough. 1. Visualize your success. Spend a few minutes each day visualizing yourself achieving your goals. Imagine how it will feel to cross the finish line, whether it's landing your dream job, publishing a book, or running a marathon. Visualization not only boosts your motivation, but also reinforces your belief in your ability to succeed. 2. Break down big goals into smaller milestones. Large goals can feel overwhelming, which makes it easier to lose focus. Instead of fixating on the end result, break your goal into smaller, actionable steps. For example, if you're writing a book, focus on completing one chapter at a time. Celebrate each milestone to maintain momentum. 3. Remind yourself of past wins. Reflect on challenges you've overcome in the past. Whether it's passing an exam, recovering from an injury, or navigating a difficult relationship, remind yourself that you've faced adversity before, and you've come out stronger. This reminder builds confidence and resilience. 13. The role of passion in discipline. While discipline is essential, it's important to note that passion plays a critical role in sustaining it. Discipline without passion can feel mechanical and draining, while passion without discipline can lead to inconsistency. The sweet spot lies in combining the two, working hard on something you truly care about. Here's a quote by Steve Jobs that beautifully illustrates this balance. "The only way to do great work is to love what you do." Jobs understood that passion fuels discipline. When you're deeply connected to your purpose, showing up every day becomes less of a chore and more of a joy. Let me share an example. Meet Elon Musk, the CEO of SpaceX and Tesla. Musk has often spoken about his passion for solving humanity's biggest challenges, such as sustainable energy and space exploration. His passion drives him to work tirelessly, often logging 80 to 100 hours per week. Musk's story teaches us that passion gives meaning to discipline. When you're working towards something you believe in, the effort feels worthwhile, even when it's difficult. 14. Building resilience through discipline. Discipline doesn't just help you achieve your goals, it also builds resilience. When you consistently push through discomfort and challenge yourself, you develop mental toughness. You learn to embrace obstacles as opportunities to grow rather than reasons to quit. Here's a quote by Angela Duckworth, author of Grit, The Power of Passion and Perseverance, that speaks to this idea. "Grit is living life like it's a marathon, not a sprint." Duckworth's research shows that grit, a combination of passion and perseverance, is a key predictor of success. People who exhibit grit don't give up when things get tough. They stay committed to their goals, even when progress feels slow. So, how do you cultivate grit through discipline? Start by embracing discomfort. Push yourself outside your comfort zone regularly, whether it's taking on a challenging project, learning a new skill, or facing a fear. Over time, these small acts of courage build resilience and confidence. As we wrap up Chapter 3, I want to leave you with one final thought. Discipline is the bridge between where you are now and where you want to be. It's not always easy, but it's always worth it. Remember this quote by Calvin Coolidge. "Nothing in the world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful men with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education will not. The world is full of educated derelicts. Persistence and determination alone are omnipotent." Coolidge understood that persistence, fueled by discipline and consistency, is the ultimate key to success. When you commit to showing up every day, doing the work, and staying focused on your goals, you become unstoppable. Chapter 4. Taking Action, Turning Knowledge into Results. In this chapter, we're going to explore one of the most critical aspects of success: action. Knowledge is powerful, but it's only potential energy until you apply it. Many people fall into the trap of consuming information, reading books, attending seminars, or watching videos, but never translating that knowledge into tangible results. The truth is, success isn't about what you know, it's about what you do with what you know. In the next few minutes, we'll uncover why taking action is non-negotiable, how to overcome procrastination, and how to create actionable plans that lead to measurable progress. Let's dive in. 1. Why knowledge without action is useless. Let's start by addressing a common misconception: the belief that acquiring more knowledge will automatically lead to success. While learning is essential, it's only the first step. True growth happens when you take what you've learned and put it into practice. Here's a quote by Bruce Lee that perfectly captures this idea. "Knowing is not enough, we must apply." Willing is not enough, we must do. Lee understood that knowledge without action is like a car without fuel. It may look impressive, but it won't get you anywhere. The real value of knowledge lies in its application. Think about your own life. How many times have you read a book, watched a video, or attended a workshop, only to leave the experience feeling inspired but unchanged? Maybe you told yourself, "I'll start implementing this tomorrow," or "I need to learn more before I can take action." But here's the truth, you don't need perfect knowledge to take action. In fact, waiting for perfection often leads to paralysis. Instead, focus on taking small, imperfect steps toward your goals. As you act, you'll gain clarity, build momentum, and refine your approach along the way. 2. Overcoming procrastination, the enemy of action. Now, let's talk about one of the biggest barriers to taking action, procrastination. We've all been there. You know what needs to be done, but you keep putting it off. Maybe you tell yourself, "I'll do it later," or "I'm just not in the mood right now." Here's a quote by Mark Twain that speaks to this challenge. "The secret of getting ahead is getting started." Twain understood that the hardest part of any task is often just beginning. Once you take the first step, the rest becomes easier. So, why do we procrastinate? Often it's because we feel overwhelmed by the size or complexity of a task. Or maybe we're afraid of failure, criticism, or uncertainty. Whatever the reason, procrastination keeps us stuck in a cycle of inaction and regret. Here are 3 strategies to help you overcome procrastination. 1. Break tasks into smaller steps. Large tasks can feel intimidating, which makes it easier to avoid them. Instead of focusing on the entire project, break it into smaller, manageable steps. For example, if you're writing a report, start by outlining the main points. Once that feels achievable, move on to drafting the introduction. 2. Use the 2-minute rule. If a task takes less than 2 minutes to complete, do it immediately. This simple strategy helps you build momentum and prevents small tasks from piling up. For instance, if you need to send an email or make a quick phone call, don't delay, do it now. 3. Set deadlines and stick to them. Deadlines create a sense of urgency and accountability. Whether it's self-imposed or externally driven, having a timeline forces you to prioritize action over procrastination. Use tools like calendars or task management apps to track your deadlines and stay on schedule. 3. Creating an actionable plan. Now that we've addressed procrastination, let's talk about how to create an actionable plan, a roadmap that turns your goals into reality. Without a clear plan, it's easy to get lost in distractions or lose sight of your priorities. Here's a quote by Benjamin Franklin that highlights the importance of planning. "If you fail to plan, you are planning to fail." Franklin understood that success doesn't happen by accident. It requires careful thought, preparation, and execution. So, how do you create an actionable plan? Here are 3 key steps. 1. Define your goals clearly. Start by identifying what you want to achieve. Be specific and measurable. For example, instead of saying, "I want to get fit," say, "I want to lose 10 pounds in 3 months by exercising 4 times a week and eating healthier meals." Clarity gives you direction and focus. 2. Break down your goals into actionable steps. Once you've defined your goal, break it into smaller, actionable tasks. For instance, if your goal is to write a book, your action steps might include researching your topic, creating an outline, writing a certain number of words each day, and editing your drafts. 3. Assign timelines to each step. Deadlines keep you accountable and ensure steady progress. Assign realistic timelines to each task and stick to them. For example, you might commit to completing your research within 2 weeks, finishing your outline in 1 week, and writing 500 words per day for the next month. 4. The power of small wins. One of the most effective ways to stay motivated and build momentum is by celebrating small wins. Progress fuels motivation, and recognizing your achievements, no matter how small, reinforces your commitment to your goals. Here's a quote by James Clear, author of Atomic Habits, that speaks to this idea. "Success is the product of daily habits, not once-in-a-lifetime transformations. Clear emphasizes that big results come from small, consistent actions. When you focus on making incremental progress, you create a snowball effect that leads to extraordinary outcomes. Let me share a practical example. Imagine you're trying to save money for a down payment on a house. Saving $50,000 might feel overwhelming, but saving $500 a month feels achievable. Each time you hit your monthly savings goal, celebrate it. Over time, these small wins add up, and you'll reach your target sooner than you think. Celebrating small wins also helps you maintain a positive mindset. Instead of focusing on how far you still have to go, focus on how far you've come. This shift in perspective keeps you motivated and resilient. 5. Measuring progress and adjusting strategies. Now, let's talk about the importance of measuring your progress and adjusting your strategies as needed. Success isn't a straight line, it's a series of experiments, adjustments, and refinements. Here's a quote by Peter Drucker, a renowned management consultant, that highlights this principle. What gets measured gets managed. Drucker understood that tracking your progress is essential for staying on course. When you measure your results, you gain valuable insights into what's working and what's not. This allows you to make informed decisions and optimize your approach. Here are 3 strategies to help you measure progress effectively. 1. Track key metrics. Identify the metrics that matter most to your goal and track them consistently. For example, if your goal is to improve your fitness, track metrics like weight, body fat percentage, or workout frequency. If your goal is to grow your business, track metrics like revenue, customer acquisition, or website traffic. 2. Review your progress regularly. Set aside time each week or month to review your progress. Ask yourself, am I moving closer to my goal? What's working well? What needs improvement? Regular reviews help you stay focused and make necessary adjustments. 3. Be willing to pivot. Sometimes, despite your best efforts, things don't go as planned. Instead of giving up, be willing to pivot. For example, if a marketing strategy isn't generating leads, try a different approach. Flexibility and adaptability are key to long-term success. 6. The importance of accountability in taking action. Now, let's talk about accountability, a powerful tool for ensuring you follow through on your plans and commitments. When you're accountable to someone else, whether it's a mentor, coach, friend, or even yourself, you're more likely to stay disciplined and consistent. Here's a quote by Bob Proctor that perfectly captures the importance of accountability. Accountability is the glue that ties commitment to results. Proctor understood that accountability bridges the gap between intention and action. When you know someone is counting on you, or when you've made a public commitment, you're far less likely to give up. Let me share a practical example. Imagine you're trying to develop a habit of exercising regularly. You might struggle to stay consistent if you're doing it alone. But what if you joined a fitness class or hired a personal trainer? Suddenly, you're accountable to someone else, which increases your chances of sticking with it. You can also create accountability systems for yourself. For instance, you could use a habit tracker app to monitor your progress, or you could set up weekly check-ins with a friend to discuss your goals. These small steps make a big difference in maintaining discipline. 7. Overcoming fear of failure. One of the biggest obstacles to taking action is the fear of failure. Many people avoid taking risks because they're afraid of making mistakes or being judged. But here's the truth: failure is not the opposite of success, it's part of the process. Here's a quote by Thomas Edison that speaks to this challenge. I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. Edison understood that failure is simply feedback. Every mistake teaches you something valuable and brings you one step closer to success. So, how do you overcome the fear of failure? Here are 3 strategies. 1. Reframe failure as learning. Instead of seeing failure as a reflection of your abilities, see it as an opportunity to learn and grow. Ask yourself, what can I take away from this experience? This mindset shift helps you approach challenges with curiosity rather than fear. 2. Focus on effort, not outcomes. Success isn't always within your control, but effort is. Focus on giving your best effort, regardless of the outcome. Over time, consistent effort leads to meaningful results. 3. Celebrate courage over perfection. Taking action, even imperfect action, is a victory in itself. Celebrate your courage to step outside your comfort zone, regardless of the result. This reinforces your willingness to take risks in the future. 8. Building momentum through consistent action. Now, let's talk about momentum, the force that propels you forward toward your goals. Momentum is created through consistent action, and it's one of the most powerful tools for achieving success. Here's a quote by Tony Robbins that highlights the importance of momentum. It's not what we do once in a while that shapes our lives. It's what we do consistently. Robbins understood that consistency is the key to building momentum. When you take small, consistent actions every day, you create a compounding effect that leads to extraordinary results. Let me share an example. Meet James Dyson, the inventor of the Dyson vacuum cleaner. Before he became a household name, Dyson spent 15 years and created over 5,000 prototypes before perfecting his design. Each iteration brought him closer to his goal, and his persistence eventually paid off. Dyson's story teaches us that momentum is built through relentless effort. Even when progress feels slow, staying consistent ensures that you're moving forward. 9. The role of passion in taking action. While discipline is essential, passion plays a critical role in sustaining action. Discipline without passion can feel mechanical and draining, while passion without discipline can lead to inconsistency. The sweet spot lies in combining the two, working hard on something you truly care about. Here's a quote by Steve Jobs that beautifully illustrates this balance. "The only way to do great work is to love what you do." Jobs understood that passion fuels discipline. When you're deeply connected to your purpose, taking action becomes less of a chore and more of a joy. Let me share another example. Meet Malala Yousafzai, the youngest ever Nobel laureate. Despite facing immense challenges, including an assassination attempt by the Taliban, Malala continued to fight for girls' education. Her passion for her cause gave her the strength to keep taking action, even in the face of danger. Malala's story reminds us that passion gives meaning to action. When you're working towards something you believe in, the effort feels worthwhile, even when it's difficult. 10. Stories of action that inspire. Let's take a moment to draw inspiration from real-life stories of individuals who turn their knowledge into results through action. These stories remind us that success is within reach if we're willing to take the first step. Story 1. Sarah Blakely. Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx, started her business with just $5,000 in savings. She spent years pitching her idea to manufacturers and retailers, facing countless rejections along the way. But instead of giving up, she kept taking action, refining her product, building relationships, and staying committed to her vision. Today, Spanx is a global brand, and Blakely is one of the most successful female entrepreneurs in the world. Blakely's story teaches us that action is the bridge between dreams and reality. No matter how many obstacles you face, taking consistent action moves you closer to your goals. Story 2. Colonel Harlan Sanders. Colonel Sanders, the founder of KFC, didn't achieve success until he was in his 60s. After being fired from his job, he traveled across the United States, pitching his fried chicken recipe to restaurant owners. He was rejected over 1,000 times before someone finally agreed to try his recipe. Sanders' story reminds us that persistence pays off. No matter how many times you're told no, keep knocking on doors until you find a yes. 11. The role of resilience in sustaining action. Taking action isn't just about starting, it's about staying the course, even when the journey gets tough. This is where resilience comes into play. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from setbacks, adapt to challenges, and keep moving forward with determination. Here's a quote by Nelson Mandela that beautifully captures the essence of resilience. "It always seems impossible until it's done." Mandela understood that progress often feels slow and uncertain, but persistence makes the impossible possible. When you encounter obstacles, resilience ensures that you don't give up. Let me share a practical example. Imagine you're building a business, and your first product launch doesn't go as planned. Sales are low, customer feedback is mixed, and you're questioning whether you should continue. Instead of giving up, you analyze what went wrong, make adjustments, and try again. Each iteration brings you closer to success. Resilience is built through experience. Every time you face a challenge and overcome it, you grow stronger and more confident in your ability to handle future difficulties. 12. The importance of focus and taking action. In today's fast-paced world, distractions are everywhere. Social media, emails, notifications, they all compete for your attention and pull you away from meaningful action. To succeed, you must learn to focus on what truly matters. Here's a quote by Bruce Lee that speaks to this challenge. Absorb what is useful, discard what is not, add what is uniquely your own. Lee understood that focus is about prioritizing what adds value and letting go of what doesn't. When you eliminate distractions and concentrate on your goals, you maximize your productivity and effectiveness. Here are 3 strategies to help you stay focused. 1. Set clear priorities. Identify your top priorities each day and focus on completing them before tackling less important tasks. Use tools like to-do lists or priority matrices to organize your work. 2. Create a distraction-free environment. Minimize interruptions by turning off notifications, setting boundaries with others, and creating a dedicated workspace. For example, if you're writing, close unnecessary tabs on your computer and put your phone on silent. 3. Practice time blocking. Allocate specific blocks of time for focused work and stick to them. For instance, you might dedicate the first 2 hours of your day to deep work, followed by shorter periods for meetings or administrative tasks. 13. Building confidence through action. One of the most rewarding aspects of taking action is the boost in confidence it provides. Every time you complete a task or achieve a goal, you prove to yourself that you're capable of success. This builds self-trust and reinforces your belief in your abilities. Here's a quote by Norman Vincent Peale that highlights this idea. Action is a great restorer and builder of confidence. Inaction is not only the result but the cause of fear. Peale understood that action dispels fear and doubt. When you take steps toward your goals, you replace uncertainty with certainty. Let me share an example. Imagine you're preparing for a public speaking event, but you're nervous about speaking in front of a large audience. Instead of avoiding the situation, you practice your speech daily, record yourself, and seek feedback from trusted friends. By the time the event arrives, you feel prepared and confident. Confidence grows through action, not waiting. The more you do, the more you believe in yourself. 14. The ripple effect of taking action. When you take action, you create a ripple effect that extends beyond yourself. Your efforts inspire others, contribute to your community, and leave a lasting impact on the world. Here's a quote by Mahatma Gandhi that speaks to this idea. The future depends on what you do today. Gandhi understood that every action you take shapes the future, not just for yourself, but for those around you. When you lead by example, you encourage others to take action as well. Let me share a story that illustrates this point. Meet Greta Thunberg, the environmental activist who started a global movement by skipping school to protest climate change. Her simple act of sitting outside the Swedish parliament with a handmade sign inspired millions of people worldwide to join her cause. Thunberg's story teaches us that one person's actions can spark a chain reaction. When you take action, you never know who you might inspire or what impact you might create. Closing thoughts for Chapter 4. As we wrap up Chapter 4, I want to leave you with one final thought. Action is the key to unlocking your potential. Knowledge is valuable, but it's only a starting point. True growth happens when you apply what you've learned and take consistent steps toward your goals. Remember this quote by Dale Carnegie. Inaction breeds doubt and fear. Action breeds confidence and courage. Carnegie understood that action transforms fear into courage and doubt into confidence. When you commit to taking action, no matter how small, you move closer to the life you desire. Chapter 5. Finding Your Purpose. Living a Meaningful Life. In this chapter, we're going to explore one of the most profound and transformative aspects of personal growth, discovering your purpose. Living a meaningful life isn't just about achieving success. It's about aligning your actions with your values, contributing to something greater than yourself, and finding fulfillment in the journey. When you live with purpose, you wake up each day with clarity, passion, and a sense of direction. In the next few minutes, we'll uncover how to discover your true passion, align your actions with your values, and leave a legacy that inspires others. Let's dive in. 1. The importance of living with purpose. Let's start by addressing why living with purpose is so essential. Without a clear sense of purpose, it's easy to feel lost, unfulfilled, or disconnected from your goals. Purpose gives your life meaning. It's the why behind everything you do. Here's a quote by Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and psychiatrist, that perfectly captures this idea. Life is never made unbearable by circumstances, but only by lack of meaning and purpose. Frankl understood that even in the darkest moments, having a sense of purpose can sustain you. It provides motivation, resilience, and a reason to keep moving forward. Think about your own life. Have you ever felt stuck or unsure about what to do next? Maybe you've achieved certain goals but still feel empty or unfulfilled. This is often a sign that you're missing alignment with your deeper purpose. Purpose isn't just about grand achievements or changing the world. It's about finding what truly matters to you and living in alignment with those values. 2. Discovering your true passion. Now, let's talk about how to discover your true passion, the activities, causes, or pursuits that ignite a fire within you. Passion is the fuel that drives purpose, and when you find it, you unlock a source of endless energy and enthusiasm. Here's a quote by Oprah Winfrey that speaks to this idea. Passion is energy. Feel the power that comes from focusing on what excites you. Winfrey understood that passion is contagious. It energizes not only you but also those around you. When you focus on what excites you, you naturally attract opportunities, people, and experiences that align with your purpose. So, how do you discover your true passion? Here are 3 strategies. 1. Reflect on what brings you joy. Think about the activities that make you lose track of time. What do you enjoy doing so much that you forget about everything else? Whether it's painting, writing, helping others, or solving problems, these moments of flow often point to your passions. 2. Identify what you value most. Your values are the guiding principles that shape your decisions and actions. Make a list of the things that matter most to you, whether it's family, creativity, freedom, or making a difference, and consider how they align with your daily life. 3. Experiment and explore. Don't be afraid to try new things. Take a class, volunteer for a cause, or pursue a hobby you've always been curious about. Exploration helps you uncover hidden interests and talents. 3. Aligning your actions with your values. Once you've identified your passions and values, the next step is to align your actions with them. Living authentically means ensuring that your daily choices reflect what truly matters to you. Here's a quote by Mahatma Gandhi that highlights this principle. Happiness is when what you think, what you say, and what you do are in harmony. Gandhi understood that alignment between your inner beliefs and outer actions creates a sense of peace and fulfillment. When your life reflects your values, you feel grounded and purposeful. Let me share a practical example. Imagine you value health and well-being but spend most of your time working long hours at a desk job, neglecting exercise and proper nutrition. To align your actions with your values, you might commit to taking regular breaks to stretch, preparing healthy meals, or scheduling workouts into your routine. Alignment doesn't happen overnight. It's a process of continuous refinement. Start by identifying areas where your actions don't match your values, then take small steps to close the gap. 4. Leaving a legacy that inspires others. Now, let's talk about leaving a legacy, a lasting impact that outlives you and inspires future generations. Living a meaningful life isn't just about personal fulfillment. It's about contributing to something greater than yourself. Here's a quote by Maya Angelou that speaks to this idea. Do the best you can until you know better. Then when you know better, do better. Angelou reminds us that our actions have consequences, and we have a responsibility to use our gifts and talents to make the world a better place. Leaving a legacy doesn't mean you have to achieve fame or fortune. It's about creating positive change in your community, supporting others, and sharing your unique gifts with the world. Let me share an example. Meet Malala Yousafzai, the youngest ever Nobel laureate. Despite facing immense challenges, including an assassination attempt by the Taliban, Malala continued to fight for girls' education. Her courage and determination have inspired millions of people worldwide to join her cause. Malala's story teaches us that legacy is built through action. Every time you stand up for what you believe in, help someone in need, or contribute to a cause you care about, you leave a mark on the world. 5. Stories of purpose that inspire. Let's take a moment to draw inspiration from real-life stories of individuals who discovered their purpose and lived meaningful lives. These stories remind us that purpose is accessible to everyone, regardless of their circumstances. Story 1. Nick Vujicic. Nick Vujicic was born without arms and legs, but he refused to let his physical limitations define him. Instead, he discovered his purpose in inspiring others to overcome adversity and live with hope. Through motivational speaking and writing, Vujicic has touched millions of lives worldwide. Vujicic's story teaches us that purpose isn't determined by external conditions, it's shaped by your mindset and willingness to serve others. Story 2. Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa dedicated her life to serving the poorest of the poor in Kolkata, India. Despite facing criticism and hardship, she remained steadfast in her mission to spread love and compassion. Her work continues to inspire countless individuals to serve humanity selflessly. Mother Teresa's legacy reminds us that purpose is found in giving, not receiving. When you focus on helping others, you create a ripple effect of kindness and generosity. 6. The role of gratitude in living with purpose. Now, let's talk about the role of gratitude in living a purposeful and meaningful life. Gratitude is more than just saying, "Thank you." It's a mindset that shifts your focus from what's lacking to what's abundant in your life. When you practice gratitude, you cultivate a deeper appreciation for the present moment and the opportunities it holds. Here's a quote by Melody Beattie that beautifully captures this idea. Gratitude turns what we have into enough and more. It turns denial into acceptance, chaos into order, confusion into clarity. Beattie understood that gratitude transforms your perspective. When you're grateful for what you have, you create space to discover your purpose and live with intention. Let me share a practical example. Imagine you're feeling stuck in your career, unsure of your next steps. Instead of focusing on what's missing, take a moment to reflect on what you're grateful for, your skills, experiences, relationships, or even the challenges that have shaped you. This shift in mindset can help you uncover new possibilities and reignite your passion. Gratitude also strengthens your connection to others. When you express appreciation for the people in your life, you build deeper relationships and create a support system that empowers you to pursue your purpose. 7. Overcoming obstacles on the path to purpose. Finding and living your purpose isn't always easy. Along the way, you'll encounter obstacles, self-doubt, fear, setbacks, or external resistance. But here's the truth: these challenges are part of the journey, and overcoming them strengthens your resolve. Here's a quote by Helen Keller that speaks to this challenge. Life is either a daring adventure or nothing at all. Keller understood that purpose requires courage. It's about embracing uncertainty, taking risks, and pushing through discomfort to achieve something greater. So, how do you overcome obstacles on the path to purpose? Here are 3 strategies. 1. Reframe challenges as opportunities. Instead of seeing obstacles as roadblocks, view them as chances to grow and learn. For example, if you face rejection while pursuing a passion project, ask yourself, "What can I improve?" Or, "How can I approach this differently next time?" 2. Seek support from like-minded individuals. Surround yourself with people who share your values and inspire you to keep going. Whether it's a mentor, friend, or community, having a support system makes the journey less daunting. 3. Stay focused on the bigger picture. When you feel discouraged, remind yourself why you started. Visualize the impact you want to create and the legacy you want to leave. This reminder helps you stay committed to your purpose, even when the path feels tough. 8. Balancing passion and practicality. While following your passion is essential, it's equally important to balance it with practicality. Pursuing your purpose doesn't mean neglecting your responsibilities or financial stability. It's about finding harmony between what you love and what sustains you. Here's a quote by Steve Jobs that highlights this balance. "Your work is going to fill a large part of your life, and the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work." Jobs understood that purpose and practicality aren't mutually exclusive. You can build a career or lifestyle that aligns with your passions while meeting your needs. Let me share an example. Imagine you're passionate about art but unsure how to make a living from it. Instead of abandoning your passion, explore ways to integrate it into your life, whether it's teaching art classes, designing products, or collaborating with other creatives. By combining passion with practicality, you create a sustainable path toward purpose. 9. The ripple effect of living with purpose. When you live with purpose, you create a ripple effect that extends far beyond yourself. Your actions inspire others, contribute to your community, and leave a lasting impact on the world. Here's a quote by Margaret Mead that speaks to this idea. "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has." Mead understood that purpose-driven individuals have the power to spark change. When you lead by example, you encourage others to discover their own purpose and take action. Let me share a story that illustrates this point. Meet Greta Thunberg, the environmental activist who started a global movement by skipping school to protest climate change. Her simple act of sitting outside the Swedish parliament with a handmade sign inspired millions of people worldwide to join her cause. Thunberg's story teaches us that one person's purpose can ignite a chain reaction. When you live authentically and pursue your purpose, you never know who you might inspire or what impact you might create. Closing thoughts for Chapter 5. As we wrap up Chapter 5, I want to leave you with one final thought. Purpose is the compass that guides you through life's ups and downs. It gives you clarity, motivation, and a sense of fulfillment that transcends external achievements. Remember this quote by Howard Thurman. "Don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive, and go do it. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive." Thurman reminds us that purpose isn't about fitting into someone else's mold. It's about embracing who you are and sharing your unique gifts with the world. Chapter 6. Inspiring Stories. Lessons from the Real World. In this chapter, we're going to explore real-life examples of individuals who overcame adversity, embraced their purpose, and achieved extraordinary success. Stories have a unique power to inspire, motivate, and teach us valuable lessons. They remind us that no matter how difficult our circumstances may seem, there's always hope. These stories are not just about success. They're about resilience, courage, and the unwavering belief in oneself. In the next few minutes, we'll uncover the journeys of remarkable individuals who turned their struggles into stepping stones and left a lasting impact on the world. Let's dive in. 1. The power of stories to inspire action. Before we delve into the stories themselves, let's talk about why stories are so powerful. Human beings are wired to connect through narratives. Stories evoke emotions, spark imagination, and provide context for complex ideas. Here's a quote by Maya Angelou that captures the essence of storytelling. "People will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." Angelou understood that stories have the power to touch hearts and minds. When you hear about someone who has faced challenges similar to your own and emerged victorious, it ignites a sense of possibility within you. Let me share a practical example. Imagine you're feeling discouraged because your business isn't growing as quickly as you'd hoped. Then, you read the story of Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx, who started her company with just $5,000 and faced countless rejections before achieving success. Her story reminds you that persistence pays off and encourages you to keep pushing forward. Stories like these remind us that success is rarely linear. It's a series of trials, errors, and triumphs. They teach us that failure is not final, and every setback is an opportunity to grow stronger. 2. Story 1. J.K. Rowling, From Rejection to Global Success. Let's begin with the story of J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series. Today, She's one of the most successful writers in history, but her journey to success was anything but easy. Before publishing Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, Rowling faced numerous rejections. 12 publishers turned down her manuscript, telling her it wasn't marketable or appealing enough. During this time, she was also struggling with personal challenges. She was a single mother living on welfare, battling depression, and facing self-doubt. But Rowling didn't give up. She believed in her story and continued submitting her manuscript until Bloomsbury finally agreed to publish it. The rest, as they say, is history. The Harry Potter series went on to become a global phenomenon, selling over 500 million copies worldwide and inspiring millions of readers. Here's a lesson we can learn from Rowling's story. Rock bottom became the solid foundation on which I rebuilt my life. Rowling's journey teaches us that perseverance and belief in oneself are essential for overcoming adversity. No matter how many times you're told, no, keep believing in your vision. 3. Story 2, Elon Musk, turning vision into reality. Next, let's explore the story of Elon Musk, one of the most innovative entrepreneurs of our time. Musk is known for his ambitious goals, revolutionizing space exploration, transitioning the world to sustainable energy, and advancing artificial intelligence. But behind his success lies a story of immense risk, failure, and resilience. Early in his career, Musk faced significant setbacks. When he co-founded SpaceX, his first 3 rocket launches failed, nearly bankrupting the company. Critics doubted his vision, calling his ideas impractical and unrealistic. Yet, Musk refused to give up. He invested his last remaining funds into the 4th launch, which succeeded and secured a $1.6 billion contract with NASA. Similarly, Tesla faced skepticism when it first entered the electric vehicle market. Many doubted whether consumers would embrace EVs, and the company struggled financially during its early years. But Musk's relentless focus on innovation and sustainability paid off. Today, Tesla is one of the most valuable car companies in the world, leading the charge toward a greener future. Here's a lesson we can learn from Musk's story. When something is important enough, you do it even if the odds are not in your favor. Musk's journey teaches us the importance of taking calculated risks, staying committed to your vision, and embracing failure as part of the process. 4. Story 3, Malala Yousafzai, fighting for education against all odds. Now, let's turn to the inspiring story of Malala Yousafzai, the youngest ever Nobel laureate. At just 15 years old, Malala survived an assassination attempt by the Taliban for advocating girls' education in Pakistan. Instead of letting fear silence her, she became even more determined to fight for her cause. After recovering from her injuries, Malala continued speaking out against injustice and championing the right to education for all children. Her courage and determination earned her international recognition, and she founded the Malala Fund to support educational initiatives around the world. Malala's story teaches us that purpose gives us strength. Even in the face of unimaginable adversity, she remained steadfast in her mission to create a better future. Here's a lesson we can learn from Malala's story. 1 child, 1 teacher, 1 book, and 1 pen can change the world. Malala reminds us that small actions can have a profound impact. When you stand up for what you believe in, you inspire others to join your cause. 5. Story 4, Colonel Harlan Sanders, persistence pays off. Finally, let's look at the story of Colonel Harlan Sanders, the founder of KFC. Sanders didn't achieve success until he was in his 60s, a testament to the fact that it's never too late to pursue your dreams. After being fired from his job, Sanders traveled across the United States, pitching his fried chicken recipe to restaurant owners. He was rejected over 1,000 times before someone finally agreed to try his recipe. Despite the odds, Sanders persisted, believing in the value of his product. Today, KFC is one of the largest fast food chains in the world, serving millions of customers every day. Sanders' story teaches us that persistence is key to overcoming rejection and achieving success. Here's a lesson we can learn from Sanders' story. You have to swing the bat to hit a home run. Sanders reminds us that taking action, even in the face of uncertainty, is essential for creating opportunities. 6. Story 5. Thomas Edison, The Power of Perseverance. Let's continue with the story of Thomas Edison, one of the greatest inventors in history. Edison is credited with developing groundbreaking innovations like the light bulb, phonograph, and motion picture camera. However, his journey to success was paved with countless failures and setbacks. Edison famously conducted over 1,000 experiments before successfully creating a commercially viable light bulb. Critics ridiculed him, calling his ideas impractical and doomed to fail. Yet, Edison remained undeterred. He viewed each failed experiment as a step closer to success, famously saying, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Edison's story teaches us that perseverance is the key to overcoming obstacles. When you approach challenges with curiosity and resilience, you transform failure into progress. Here's a lesson we can learn from Edison's story. Genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. Edison reminds us that hard work and determination are far more important than natural talent. Success belongs to those who are willing to put in the effort, even when the results aren't immediate. 7. Story 6. Oprah Winfrey, Rising Above Adversity. Next, let's explore the story of Oprah Winfrey, one of the most influential media personalities in the world. Born into poverty in rural Mississippi, Oprah faced numerous hardships as a child, including abuse and discrimination. Despite these challenges, she worked tirelessly to build a better life for herself. At one point early in her career, Oprah was fired from her job as a television anchor because her boss said she wasn't fit for TV. Instead of letting that discourage her, she took it as a challenge to prove him wrong. Today, she's a billionaire, a philanthropist, and a role model for millions of people around the world. Oprah's story teaches us that adversity can be a catalyst for growth. When you refuse to let setbacks define you, you unlock your true potential. Here's a lesson we can learn from Oprah's story. Turn your wounds into wisdom. Oprah reminds us that our struggles can become sources of strength. By learning from our experiences, we emerge wiser, stronger, and more resilient. 8. Story 7. Nick Vujicic, Finding Purpose Despite Limitations. Now, let's turn to the inspiring story of Nick Vujicic, a motivational speaker born without arms and legs. Despite his physical limitations, Nick refused to let his condition define him. Instead, he discovered his purpose in inspiring others to overcome adversity and live with hope. Through his organization, Life Without Limbs, Nick has traveled the world, sharing his message of faith, perseverance, and gratitude. His courage and positivity have touched millions of lives, proving that purpose isn't determined by external circumstances. It's shaped by your mindset and willingness to serve others. Nick's story teaches us that purpose is accessible to everyone, regardless of their challenges. When you focus on what you can give rather than what you lack, you create a life of meaning and fulfillment. Here's a lesson we can learn from Nick's story. If I fail, I try again, and again and again. Nick reminds us that resilience is the foundation of success. No matter how many times you fall, getting back up is what truly matters. 9. Story 8. Sarah Blakely, Building a Billion-Dollar Business. Finally, let's look at the story of Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx. Before becoming one of the most successful female entrepreneurs in the world, Blakely faced countless rejections and doubts. She started her company with just $5,000 in savings and spent 2 years pitching her idea to manufacturers and retailers, only to be turned down repeatedly. Instead of giving up, Blakely stayed committed to her vision. She refined her product, built relationships, and eventually secured a deal with Neiman Marcus. Today, Spanx is a global brand, and Blakely is a self-made billionaire. Blakely's story teaches us that persistence and creativity are essential for turning ideas into reality. When you believe in yourself and your product, you can overcome any obstacle. Here's a lesson we can learn from Blakely's story. Don't be intimidated by what you don't know. That can be your greatest asset. Blakely reminds us that ignorance can be an advantage. It allows you to approach problems with fresh eyes and innovative solutions. Closing thoughts for Chapter 6. As we wrap up Chapter 6, I want to leave you with one final thought. These stories remind us that success is not reserved for the lucky or the privileged. It's available to anyone willing to persevere, adapt, and stay true to their purpose. Here's a quote by Helen Keller that encapsulates this idea. Although the world is full of suffering, it is also full of the overcoming of it. Keller understood that life's challenges are opportunities for growth. When you face adversity with courage and determination, you not only overcome it, you thrive because of it. Conclusion of the audiobook. 1. Recap of key lessons. As we come to the end of this audiobook, let's take a moment to recap the key lessons we've explored together. These insights are designed to empower you to take control of your life, overcome challenges, and achieve your goals. 1. The reality of life: nobody cares. We learned that seeking external validation is a trap. The only person who truly cares about your success is you. By embracing self-reliance, you reclaim your power and unlock your potential. 2. The power of getting up: resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from failure and adversity. Every setback is an opportunity to grow stronger and wiser. Remember, success isn't about never falling, it's about rising every time you fall. 3. The art of working harder: discipline and consistency. Success is built on discipline and consistency. It's not about working harder for a day or a week, it's about showing up every single day, doing the work, and staying committed to your goals. 4. Taking action: turning knowledge into results. Knowledge is powerful, but it's only potential energy until you apply it. Taking action, no matter how small, is the key to turning your dreams into reality. 5. Finding your purpose: living a meaningful life. Discovering your purpose gives your life meaning and direction. When you align your actions with your values, you create a life of fulfillment and impact. 6. Inspiring stories: lessons from the real world. The stories of J.K. Rowling, Elon Musk, Malala Yousafzai, and others remind us that success is possible for anyone willing to persevere, adapt, and stay true to their vision. These lessons are not just theories. They're tools you can apply immediately to improve your life. Now that you've gained these insights, I want to encourage you to take action. Success doesn't happen by accident. It happens when you consistently apply what you've learned. Here are 3 actionable steps to help you get started. 1. Commit to one small change today. Choose one lesson from this audiobook and apply it immediately. For example, if you resonated with the importance of resilience, commit to reframing a challenge as an opportunity to grow. 2. Create a personal action plan. Write down your goals and break them into smaller, manageable steps. Assign deadlines to each step and track your progress regularly. This will keep you focused and accountable. 3. Stay persistent, no matter what. Remember, success is a marathon, not a sprint. There will be moments of doubt and difficulty, but persistence is what separates those who succeed from those who give up. Here's a quote by Calvin Coolidge that perfectly captures this idea. Nothing in the world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful men with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education will not. The world is full of educated derelicts. Persistence and determination alone are omnipotent. Coolidge reminds us that persistence is the ultimate key to success. When you commit to taking action every day, you become unstoppable. Thank you for joining me on this journey through Nobody Cares, Get Up and Work Harder. I hope this audiobook has inspired you, challenged you, and provided you with practical tools to transform your life. Before we part ways, I'd like to leave you with one final thought. You have everything you need to create the life you desire. The power lies within you, not in external circumstances, not in other people's opinions, but in your own actions and mindset. If you found this audiobook helpful, I'd love for you to share it with others who might benefit from its message. Please like, share, and subscribe to Wisdom Audiobooks for more inspiring content. Together, we can create a community of growth, resilience, and success. Remember, your wisdom journey starts here, and it continues with every step you take toward your goals.